Before we begin this interview, we want to thank Jonathan Taub for making this connection with Mikey Lopez possible. Jonathan Taub is the Briarcliff Soccer Club Regional Commissioner. Without him, this interview would not have been possible.
In June 2019, Jonathan's son Casey lost his life after a long battle with glioblastoma, an aggressive brain cancer. Like us, Casey was a very passionate soccer player and fan. Casey promoted positivity and constant enthusiasm. Even when he was forced to the sidelines, he was a strong voice for the team, making all the impact he could.
We encourage all our listeners to donate to the Matthew Larson Foundation for Pediatric Brain Tumors. The foundation's mission is to raise the awareness and funds necessary to overcome pediatric brain tumors and to help the children and families affected by them.
The link is www.ironmat.org, which we will post on our website, along with some links that share the story of the amazing life of Casey Taub. Casey, we will never forget you.
When we are back, we will be on the phone with Birmingham Legion captain Mikey Lopez.
You know, he's a genius, can do special things with the football.
Ball still in there. Pulisic! Yeah! Hat-trick!
This one drops in! And forget away!
Golazo! Golazo! Golazo!
And welcome back to the Soccer Show on SleepyHollowRadio.com. I am Kevin Aguirre, joined by Aidan Baller. And for those of you who are new to the show, we discuss soccer around the world, specifically Europe's top 5 leagues, the MLS, and the U.S. men's national team. Today, we are on the phone with a very special guest. We are here with former UNC player and national champion, ACC Freshman Player of the Year in 2011, former NYCFC player, 2019 Defensive Player of the Year for Birmingham Legion, and their captain, ladies and gentlemen, Mikey Lopez. Mikey, how are you today?
I'm doing well. Thank y'all for having me. How are y'all?
We're doing great. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for being here. You're the first professional player we have ever interviewed, so we are really excited. So tell us.
Well, I'm honored. Yeah, I'm honored.
How old were you when you first thought you might want to become a professional soccer player?
When I first thought about becoming a professional soccer player, I mean, honestly, when I was really young, ever since I started playing, I always wanted to become a professional soccer player.
Were there any other sports, or it was always soccer?
I wasn't really great at any other sport. I mean, I played basketball in 7th grade, and my stat line was 2 points a whole season. So that that career kind of went out the window pretty quickly. Yeah, I mean, it was always soccer for me. I mean, I played it since I was 4 years old, and I never really got tired of playing it. And thankfully, I'm able to play it as my job right now. So so soccer's always been the one sport that's been constant in my life.
That's great. We know you've been very busy preparing for the 2021 USL Championship season, set to start in around late April. How has the COVID pandemic changed your preparation and training this off-season compared to years past?
Yeah, it's changed it a lot. I mean, we can't really get together with other people as much as I was used to last year. We try to stay outside so that we are pretty socially distanced from people. But yeah, I mean, it's changed a lot for not only for myself but for a lot of players around the world. It's just different. Yeah, you just don't you're not able to train in bigger groups than you are used to now compared to previous years.
All right, so like we said, obviously 2020 was a year like no other, and the USL Championship was one of the very first leagues to return to play without any fans. So some players have said it allowed them to improve because it forced them to focus strictly on soccer, while others struggled. How did the presence of no fans affect your play and mindset?
I mean, soccer without fans is pretty dull. I mean, the sport. I mean, soccer is a beautiful sport, so don't get me wrong about that. But playing with fans makes it a lot better. So they were definitely missed for a lot of stadiums. A lot of stadiums that weren't allowed to have fans at the game, so they were definitely missed. But we were really lucky in that Birmingham or Alabama did allow some capacity of fans, so it was good for us because we were able to have fans at our games. But I mean, it definitely does play somewhat of mind games on you because a lot of the times you feed off the energy from the fans, and when there's no fans, it kind of feels weird. So it was definitely difficult at times, but I mean, at the end of the day, the game is still a game is still a game. So you still got to go out there and play and perform and do your job. But definitely, fans were definitely missed.
Yeah, you would need support from the fans, correct, if they were still there.
Yeah, for sure.
It's common for athletes to have game day routines. On a typical game day, starting from when you wake up, what do you eat, and what do you kind of do so you're 100% ready for the game?
Yeah, I usually drink an espresso and probably like have a slice of toast with that. And then I'll walk my dog for like an hour or so, come back, eat some food, whatever my fiance is making at the time, and then I take a nap after that and eat a little bit, like a smaller pregame meal, like around 3 or 4 hours before the game. Then I get ready and head to the stadium, and I'm there at the stadium an hour and a half. I guess now, last year with COVID, we had to be there an hour before. So yeah, we just get to the stadium, get ready, change, and step onto the field and start warm up. So it's a pretty simple routine, really.
You got any cheat day meals?
Do I have any cheat day meals?
Yeah.
So like, what do you mean? Like
just
what's my favorite?
Yeah, like when you're feeling it, when you're like, let's say you're on like a diet and you just don't feel like being on that diet for like just a day or two. Like, what do you like? What are your?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I guess I usually eat a lot of tacos, or not a lot, but like on cheat days, I try to eat a lot of tacos, just cause there's not very many over there, and they're pretty expensive, really. That and always ice cream, some type of good ice cream, and sometimes most of the time most of the time my fiance always wants some type of donuts after, like, the day after a game, so we get some donuts every once in a while, just because she wants them, not because I want them. No, I'm joking. I love donuts also.
So throughout the season, do you try to keep like a pretty strict diet on what you eat, and you kind of watch that compared to like off season?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you have to watch what you eat to be able to perform at a optimal level, for sure. It does get difficult at times, like you said. Like you need some cheat meals every here and there, but I definitely do try to monitor what I eat.
That's good. So you hear about people who make it to live their dreams as a professional athlete, whether it was extra reps after practice or just maximizing your time on the practice field. Can you talk about what you had to do to achieve your dreams?
Yeah, I mean, I had to do a lot, really. I mean, we all have to sacrifice. All professional athletes, everyone has to sacrifice a lot of things. I mean, for me personally, I left my home. I went to a boarding school when I was 13 years old, so 8th grade. I went to a boarding school in Austin for school, but also because they had a soccer academy. So that's when my journey to becoming a pro or a collegiate level athlete started. Was when I left my family when I was 13, and every training we would train almost every day, and even on days that we didn't train, especially me, I would go to our stadium and I would be running some type of fitness workout, or just shooting on goal, and it's just those little things that really add up and really change people's careers. And I was really fortunate to have a group of friends that always wanted to be playing soccer at the same time I did. So it was never just a solo thing. I always had some support and friends and teammates there with me. So Definitely, those small things definitely do help, and being able to have that support is a big factor of becoming successful in any job, really.
Yes. So kind of building off how you went to boarding school at 13 to begin your soccer career almost. So throughout your career, you've traveled to different clubs, at different cities all over America. How has traveling around your whole career shaped you? Would you rather kind of remained at one club, or did experiencing lots of clubs shape you into a more dynamic player?
Yeah, I mean, those moving around to being able to play in so many clubs definitely does help because you're able to adapt to a lot of cultures and a lot of systems and styles of play from different teams. I'm sure. I mean, I would have loved to have stayed in one club and been there for a long time because it does become difficult having to move your stuff very frequently and having to go to a different city frequently. But at the same time, it does help you in the long run because it changes the type of person outside the field as well. It makes you a more rounded person, and you get to know more people, know more cultures and different types of languages and stuff like that. So it has its pros and cons. Being able to having that I had to move to so many cities, but I mean I don't regret or I'm not mad at anything with how my career has been. I've absolutely loved every city that I've played in and every club that I've played for. So I really do like it, and like I said, it just makes you a more rounded person on and off the field.
That's good. And being from New York, Aidan and I are both huge supporters of NYCFC. And during your time with the club,
I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah, and your time with the club between 2016 and 2017, you guys did finish top 2 in the Eastern Conference table in back-to-back years, which is pretty impressive. So we want to know, how did you enjoy your time at NYCFC, and how did playing with legends like Frank Lampard, Andrea Pirlo, and David Villa make an impact on your game?
Yeah, I mean, I loved it. I loved my time in NYC. I mean, I love the people there in the city. I mean, who can't love the city, really? I really enjoyed my time there, and I was sad and disappointed that it got cut a little shorter than what I wanted. But that's just how it is. That's just the business of the game. But yeah, I mean, I really enjoyed my time there, and I wish I could have helped in bringing a trophy back to New York, because I know the city is all about champions, and it's a shame that we weren't able to get a trophy because we had a really good team, and it was just we just got hit at unlucky times and in those unfortunate moments, and we weren't able to bring a trophy. But yeah, I mean, it was an amazing time, and like you said, being able to play with Lampard, Pirlo, and Villa, and being coached by Patrick Vieira was amazing. I mean, it really helped me in my career, and I got to learn so much from all 4 of them, and I'm really thankful to have met them and be friends with them and just be able to learn from them on the field.
Yeah, so soccer has grown more and more in the United States over the last few years. However, in European countries, having a promotion and relegation system among leagues, it has been a construct bringing about constant excitement from year to year. So we want to ask, do you think American soccer should have its own promotion and relegation system to increase competition?
Yeah, I mean, I think it would definitely help. And there is a lot of USL teams that are really good and compete at a higher level, and it would be nice to be able to have that promotion relegation. Obviously, it's not as simple as just saying we want to have promotion relegation. I know there's a lot of financial and other aspects that they go into it that I don't have the complete knowledge of it, so I can't really have an opinion about all that. But I mean, I do think that being able to have a promotion relegation system would definitely help make our league and our country and federation a stronger Stronger, yeah. It would make the sport stronger here in the States.
Yeah, it would certainly attract a lot more attention with this new system.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, for sure.
yeah, we've talked about American soccer now. We want to know what's your favorite club outside the United States?
Manchester United is one. I mean that they've been the team that I've supported for a longer period of time. Real Madrid, basically any team that Cristiano Ronaldo's been on.
So you're a big.
But,
Sorry, continue.
go ahead.
Yeah.
I'm a pretty big Cristiano Ronaldo fan, but so I support the teams he's on. But yeah, I mean Manchester United is the team that I've supported and will continue to support once Cristiano's probably done playing.
So having talked about how Ronaldo is kind of like you're such a big fan of him, have you taken any aspects of his game and implemented it into your own?
That's difficult because we don't really play the same position, so I can't really take a lot of his thing because it wouldn't really work for my position, and probably coaches wouldn't play me if I did the things he did in my position. But I mean, the one thing that I do admire from him is just his hard work and the amount of time that like his dedication to the game and to getting better. I think he's a phenomenal talent, but he's even a harder worker than most people give him credit. I think. So yeah, that just being able to see that even though he's at the top, like one of the elite players in our sport, that he's constantly working and constantly trying to get better is something that I strive for.
That's awesome. Going back to we've already discussed some differences between European and American soccer. Another difference is that up to the age of 10 in the U.S., there's a rule stating that you cannot head the ball. What are your thoughts about this rule, and do you kind of see it like it could pose like a disadvantage compared to countries in Europe that the kids are allowed to head the ball the entire time?
Yeah, that's pretty interesting actually. I mean, from what I remember, I always grew up always learning how to head the ball. I think the most important thing, I see what they're trying to do, and is trying to reduce the amount of head injuries, which is always good because we need to take into consideration of people's mental health and just any condition or just yeah, any type of health like that.
Yeah, just like brain injuries.
So, but yeah, exactly. So, but at the same time, I think we coaches or we need to teach young kids how to head the ball properly, and having to wait so long maybe has a disadvantage. I'm not 100% sure if it does, because I'm sure you can learn after 10. It's not like you cannot learn after 10 years old. Yeah, I don't know. It's a difficult question to kind of have an answer to. All I know from my personal experience that I always grew up being able to head the ball and learn how to head the ball. But I'm sure there is better scientific knowledge about why they are delaying the starting of heading, like learning how to head a ball.
Yeah, so us as fans never really get to see what happens inside every locker room and like every team. And people often bring up locker room speeches by managers before games and at halftime. Do the speeches motivate you, or are you already like pumped up? And if so, like out of all the managers you've worked with, which one in particular like have you felt gave you the most motivation?
Yeah, I mean, they definitely do help. I mean, you're always motivated to play, but the speeches do help for sure. They give you that little extra boost that you need, or extra confidence that you need from the manager to know that that we have the team to win. I think for me, probably the best one, and maybe the best one I think was with Patrick Vieira, and whenever David would give the speeches as well. I think those two gave some really good speeches, and you just knew that you just knew their words had more meaning behind it, or like more weight behind it, just because of the type of players they were or are, and the accomplishments that they had in their previous years in their career.
Yeah, that's really great to hear, especially coming from NYCFC supporters. Really like that.
Do you have any like specific quotes or lines you remember them that have kind of just stuck with you, or they've just always just been like a powerful force in the locker room?
Yeah, I mean, they're just a powerful force in the locker room. That's just really it, and you just know that they mean what they say, and they show it on the field as well, and that they're 100% committed, and it's just like really, it was just really motivational, and like it really did pump you up a little bit more.
So you got one last question for you. I'm sure there are a bunch of aspiring young athletes who would one day want to make it as a professional athlete. For someone who wants to follow behind your footsteps, what would be your best advice to give to them?
I guess the best advice would be being hardworking, your work ethic, working hard each and every day, being a humble person, not thinking too much of yourself, and knowing that people want to help you because they want to see you succeed. So you need to be humble enough to learn from coaches and teammates, and just being dedicated, not taking no for answer, or not letting other people tell you what you can and cannot do. I think if you have this work ethic and this humility and having this determination, dedication to the game, I think you'll be, or to anything really, not just soccer, but to any sport or career job that people want to be in, I think they can be really successful, because at the end of the day, no one can tell you what you can and cannot do. It's all up to you, and you just got to put in that work to be able to reach the pinnacle of anything that you want to do.
Well, Mikey, it's been a pleasure to interview you, and thanks again for taking time out of your busy schedule to meet with us.
Thank y'all so much again.
Yeah, just one last question. What is your favorite song to lead out?
Oh, geez. I don't know, really.
Any song.
Any song.
I'm trying to think off the top of my head. I know at Birmingham we would always play one of the Meek Mill songs before, like, literally we would go to warm up and come back into the locker room, and as we're getting that, like, the last 5-minute preparation before we step onto the field to play the game, they would play one of the Meek Mill songs. I think it's
maybe Dreams and Nightmares.
Yeah, I think that's the one. I think that's the one. And the locker room would get like extremely hyped, and everyone would be singing to the song, and I think that's the one that just sticks in my head, because we played for the past few years. We played it like right before we went out to the field. So
it's definitely,
I think that one's definitely a good one to walk out to.
It's definitely a great song. So we wish you all the best of luck in your upcoming season, and we'll be following your season as it progresses. Ladies and gentlemen,
thank you so much.
Once again, Mikey Lopez.
Thank y'all so much. I really appreciate the opportunity. Thank you.
And we are back on the Soccer Show on SleepyHollowRadio.com. I'm Kevin Aguirre, joined by Aidan Baller, and we just finished our interview with Mikey Lopez.
That was pretty cool to see. He was very nice, and that was awesome to listen to him and really get to see like what it's like to live as a professional athlete.
It's a wonderful experience for us, and we want to really thank him enough, like, for making time for us. I mean, and we want to thank our listeners as well from all over the world. Thank you guys for listening to that. And right now, we're just going to talk about the Premier League fixtures.
So we'll start with Manchester United versus Everton, ending in a 3-3 draw at Old Trafford.
This was an excellent performance from Manchester United. Early on, strong attacking presence was shown. It was a goal by Bruno Fernandes, beautiful. Reminds everyone of that famous Eric Cantona goal back in the early days. But I think Robin Olsen could have done better.
Yeah, credit to Bruno Fernandes. That was an outstanding goal, but I think Olsen could have definitely done better. Obviously, Everton's having goalie issues with kind of deciding who's their number one, if it's Pickford or Olsen. Olsen has this amazing game, and then he goes to Old Trafford and kind of just, he's a little off.
Yeah, David De Gea also could have done better with that Decore goal.
Yeah, he let that ball get away from him.
Yeah, James Rodriguez, who didn't have the brightest of matches, did manage to get on that score sheet.
He had that one moment. That's all it takes. A magical touch, and he volleys it right into the back of the net.
And seconds before the match ends, Dominic Calvert-Lewin equalizes, and it's a big upset for Manchester United.
It was almost like a Hail Mary. They sent the free kick. Calvert-Lewin is there on the end of it.
Yeah,
tap in.
Big credit to Everton. It was like United had like a quick lapse of 2 quick goals from Decore and James Rodriguez. Crazy. It was a crazy game.
Definitely a loss for United. They need every point they can get, and if they're slipping up at the end, making those disappointing for them. Moving into our next match,
we got Newcastle United 3-2 against Southampton. This was an incredible game. We've seen Takumi Minamino, former Liverpool player who's on loan at Southampton. He made an immediate impact with a goal. This brings him some inspiration. We see James Ward-Prowse score his 4th free kick of the season. He's just unstoppable from that spot.
James Ward-Prowse is the best free kick taker right now. He's so good. He just lifted that. He does not get enough credit for what he does.
Yeah. I think just leading this Southampton team is like really important, and for him it's a confidence booster for sure. Calum Wilson and Alan St. Maximum had a good link-up play. St. Maximum, of course, excellent on the wing. 2 assists. Well, kind of.
One of them was a deflection off the goalie that he just tapped in. But impressive for Calum. St. Maximum. He's playing extremely well and a great high level that Newcastle could definitely use after starting 2021 off to a really rough start, I would say.
Yeah, Southampton had opportunities one-on-one with the keeper, but just couldn't bury it in. Disappointing from Danny Ings, who had like his chances early on. Shea Adams as well. Unfortunately, we talked about the second deflection goal. It's a poor mistake for the third. And I mean, this is like one of those games where it's like it goes back and forth.
And it was like, we've only like elaborated on like the beginning of the game, and then towards the middle, Chevrolet for Newcastle was booked.
Yeah, John Joe Shelby had a chance.
Oh, sorry, not Chevrolet. Hendrick. Hendrick was booked, and so Sheffield United. What am I saying? Newcastle were down a man, and Southampton were just going right down, full attack, and that Newcastle team stood together, and were able to get all 3 points. It was an amazing thing to see.
Like Jeff Hendrick was already booked, but it was still. Newcastle still got the win, 3-2. Well deserved.
It might be a turning point for them. They all kind of stood together, full family. The 10 of them all just crowded in that box, holding the line, and were able to steal points from Southampton.
Definitely. And now we're going to Wolves against Leicester. This ended in a 0-0 draw. The Wolves back three has continued to prove effective holding, and this hot Leicester team don't believe they've conceded a lot of goals. Finally, we've seen Jamie Vardy back, and at the end, but he couldn't capitalize, heading the ball wide off the net. It seems like Nuno Espirito Santo is playing for a draw.
I think he's always playing for a draw. He always has his team. He has that three back line, and Leicester struggled, Chelsea struggled. It's hard to score on Wolves. Wolves they're not a very good attacking team. We always talk about it.
We discussed it because of Raul Jimenez's injury. He's a really he helped last season. He helped the attack a lot. We've seen the link up play between Adama Traore and Raul Jimenez. Now that Jimenez is gone,
now it's Fabio Silva.
It's Fabio Silva, and Adama Traore is just not appearing like he used to be last season. So we did see him slip up, and
it's not as much of that speed and physicality we remember. And Fabio Silva, he had a chance on goal that the Leicester goalie saved, Schmeichel, but it's like, you think about it, if that's Raul Jimenez, that's a goal.
That's a goal for sure. Leicester have only won one of the last 4 games. You know, we talked about Adama Traore showing promise on the counterattacks. Fabio Silva did have a chance to score after Ruben Neves got one of his shots blocked. So yeah, that's all for Wolves against Leicester. Moving on to Chelsea against Sheffield United. I'll let you take this one, Aidan.
2-1 victory for Chelsea. Definitely exciting. Thomas Tuchel leads Chelsea to his 3rd win in a row as manager. Timo Werner set up both goals. The first one, he teed up Mason Mount for a beautiful strike, and then he also set up the Jorginho penalty, and he got man of the match. Didn't score, and I think it's really cool to see. I mean, in his interview, he openly admitted, he's like, I've been struggling, but all I can do is continue to believe in myself, continue to get scoring chances, and the goals will come with that. I just think that his attitude will eventually drive into where all these like chances he's creating turn into Werner goals, we remember in the Bundesliga.
I think Timo Werner, like, as soon as Thomas Tuchel got the job as Chelsea manager, he's like we talked about, German connection. It's something that could be very impactful for this Chelsea team and for Timo Werner himself. And to see him provide more chances, get more assists, it's definitely an improvement. It's definitely what Chelsea fans want to see. And unfortunately for Frank Lampard, he wasn't able to do that with him and with Kai Havertz. And to see Thomas Tuchel come in and automatically change. Well, I don't want to say he's the best right now, but it definitely takes improving. And we'll see what happens with Timo Werner. I mean, we can only hope that he performs up to the expectation, and hopefully we get to see him perform like he did at Leipzig, but in the Premier League for Chelsea.
Yes, and we have to talk about the own goal by Rudiger.
That was that was like a FIFA-like own goal. I just it's crazy. It's certainly a lack of miscommunication between Edouard Mendy and Rudiger, but it's what can you do? You especially when you're 1-0 up, you shouldn't be conceding goals like this, because that just ties the game. It puts much more pressure on you. But in the end, Chelsea did come up with the vital win.
Chelsea were sitting at 8th. And now they're back up to 5th and 1 point behind Liverpool, and moves us into our next game.
Yeah, this
Manchester City versus Liverpool. I'll let you take it.
This one, I would say, it was quite pretty much not expected as in terms of the result, but I definitely coming into this match, Liverpool were going to struggle because I mean, Phil Foden's hot. It was 4-1. How do you lose so badly to Manchester City at Anfield? That's one of the main questions here is Liverpool, they call it the Anfield Fortress that they have. It no longer exists. It's been teared down. First off from Burnley, and then it was Brighton. Now it's Manchester City. This is ridiculous.
And people are just Pep Guardiola had never won at Anfield, and he gets his first ever win in a blowout.
The only thing I found funny about this is just a penalty curse against for Man City against Liverpool. They cannot score penalties against us. I don't know why. I mean, I believe the last penalty scored was I think Leroy Sané scored a couple years ago, but that was pretty much it. But seeing that penalty miss, we're just okay, this gives us hope, right? Yeah. No, Gundogan scores. This time he properly scores. Then Salah scores a penalty, which is really controversial, because it did seem like he dived.
It was more of just a Ruben Dias error. It wasn't. It was less of a Salah created chance.
Yeah. And so I mean, Alisson, though, I feel bad for him, but at the same time, it's his fault. I mean, I don't know if it really is his fault. I think we should just blame the whole the team as a whole.
And you know Alisson's your number one, so he'll be back. He'll be back in good form. One of my favorite parts about this whole game was obviously these post-game and pre-game press conferences. Starting with the pre-game press conference when Jurgen Klopp was talking about, Manchester City, they got a 2-week COVID break, when in reality it was only 2 games off from the training camp, which Pep Guardiola quickly corrected and said, check the calendar, please. I didn't know Jurgen was one to hide behind excuses. And that's just... And then after the game, Jurgen Klopp's talking about how it's we're bad, we're doing kind of making these excuses, and we don't want to see that from Jurgen Klopp. It's disappointing to see.
It's like, Jurgen, we love you, man. We appreciate what you've done with this club, but to see you make up excuses like this, it's unacceptable, man. But as of right now, we just can't do enough. I mean, like with breaking news that like his mom died at the age of 81, and the even sadder part is that he can't go to Germany because of COVID rules. He can't go to Germany and attend the funeral. So our thoughts and our prayers are with Jurgen Klopp and his family, and it's it really, like, I mean,
it's disappointing.
It's disappointing, definitely. And so with this Liverpool team, I mean, I don't know if he's gonna have as much how do I say it, like, not attitude, but like encouragement to like help lead this Liverpool squad, who have been struggling. They have definitely been struggling, but in the end, it's a well-deserved performance for Manchester City.
And Manchester City's one flaw in the game was the penalty spot. And earlier in the season, or last year, I think it was, when they asked if Ederson the goalkeeper could take the penalties, and Pep Guardiola said, "Oh, he'll take the penalties. Yes, he'll take all the penalties," and it was a joke.
It was a joke.
And then when the interviewers asked him after this game, he said, "Now it's a half joke." And it's become so, Manchester City is so bad at taking penalties that it's gotten to the point where maybe Ederson might be the guy to take the penalties.
He definitely has the shot power to do that.
He has the experience.
He definitely does.
We've seen him score.
I believe one thing that's really crazy is I don't know if he still has the record for like the longest goal kick, or like, I think it was longest goal kick, like in the world record books. I think someone might have broken that record. I'm not 100% sure, but he definitely has the experience to take penalties for this team. So yeah, I mean, Manchester City are still cruising, 15 consecutive wins in a row.
I don't see them not losing this title.
Yeah. And yeah, we're gonna move on to Aston Villa against Arsenal. Aston Villa won this match 1-0. Ollie Watkins scored the only goal of the match in only the second minute from a nice it was a nice deflection. It was a great ball from Bertrand Traore. I mean, Watkins now has 4 goals in his last 6 games. The match itself was pretty even. However, Arsenal, they just couldn't take advantage of their chances. Emi Martinez and Matt Ryan had some excellent saves. I mean, in the end, Emi Martinez still gets the last laugh.
He does.
This is like, I don't know, the first time in like years that Aston Villa have done the double against Arsenal in the Premier League.
And it's really exciting to see Aston Villa like performing at such a high level. Obviously now Ross Barkley, who is on loan at Villa, now they want to sign him, and it would make them their record signing. Just a lot of positivity around that club.
Definitely.
A lot of young players. Obviously Jack Grealish, their captain, he does not get enough credit for what he does. He is so dynamic.
Absolutely. And we're going to switch it up to Tottenham against West Brom. Tottenham, of course, won this match 2-0. It's a comfortable win for Spurs. Harry Kane and Son, that fearsome duo, are back at it again. We know we've been missing like a lot of action from them. We know Harry Kane was injured. Son, we saw, couldn't do it alone. And so they each scored a goal in this match. Pierre-Emile Højbjerg, who's been like a massive signing for them, came out as man of the match by completing the most dribbles with 2 and the most passes with 100. New West Brom signings like Robert Snodgrass, Ainsley Maitland-Niles, Diagne from Galatasaray, they haven't been proving themselves ever since signing for the Baggies. And I think with a team led by Sam Allardyce, I think they definitely have to do better if they want to keep their relegation hopes alive.
And I think Mourinho definitely needed this win. They needed that win. They were in a bad slump. It was Mourinho's his worst 3 game run of form. He
did lose twice for the first time like in a row at home in his managerial career, so that was just pretty bad to see that record like out the window. That wasn't good. But like you said, Mourinho definitely needed this one. And
now they're back. They're doing better. 2-0 win, and we'll see how they roll into the weekend. Hopefully get back into the top 4 conversation.
Yeah. Next up, we've got Burnley against Brighton, a 1-1 draw. Not too much to say about this match. Goodmanson did score for Burnley, and Lewis Dunk, the captain for Brighton as well, did score. Both teams are still looking to escape the relegation zone. We're going to go to Fulham against West Ham United. Not the biggest performance from West Ham. Fulham looked like the better side, with possession and total shots dominated by them. Referee Mike Dean, I think, in my opinion, made one of the worst VAR calls. This happened when he sent off Thomas Souček because of an accidental elbow to the head of Mitrovic.
And I don't know. I mean, Mike Dean, he's given out the most red cards by compared to any other ref this season in the Premier League at 6, and the VAR is there for a reason. It's so because you can't always see things in real time. You might miss things. And VAR allows you to see it in every angle and get the perfect analysis of what happened. And the fact that it was so clearly an accidental elbow, obviously the FA appealed West Ham's appeal, and they took away the red card after the fact. But it's disappointing to see. Like, come on, Mike Dean.
I'll be honest with you. The Thomas Suchek, first of all, I don't think he's the player to elbow another player.
He's not.
He's got nice character. You know, he's still new to the Premier League, coming from the Czech Republic League. And it's like Mike Dean has all this experience refereeing. He's had a lot of years doing this, but like to do that, to call out like a VAR call, like it's not what you want to see from an experienced referee. They're just gonna. And the funny thing is that he's been like I don't know if this is true, but I think he got death threats sent from his to his family.
It's not right to do that.
It's not. It kind of reminds me of like when I think it was back in 2009 when Chelsea lost to Barcelona in the Champions League semifinal. I forgot the name of that referee. I believe he's from Norway, and I believe it's to this day he gets death threats. That's not what you want to see.
Obviously, like Mike Dean, like it wasn't like the greatest call. It's no need to go out and just blast him on social media. It's extremely disrespectful.
Every human makes a mistake.
Every human makes mistakes. Obviously, some make a few more than others, but no need to go out and make all those terrible criticisms of him. But he can do better, like
definitely,
as a referee from a critical perspective. But Fulham, we didn't even talked about this game. Fulham were the better side.
Clearly, yeah. I think I definitely expected more from West Ham, coming in like great form. Unfortunately, they weren't just like at it. I mean, they gave Fulham like more opportunities.
And Mikel Antonio was kind of silent.
He was really
Same
silent.
With Jesse Lingard, who has this outstanding debut, and then
I mean, it's the Premier League. Anything can happen, especially like with relegated, like close to relegation like sides who they can like pull off any like upset. Really, it could happen. I mean, we saw what happened with Brighton against Liverpool. I mean, Burnley as well. Like, this is crazy. You never know what happens.
You never know. And that brings us to the Monday game.
We have Leeds United against Crystal Palace. Leeds did beat Palace 2-0. Jack Harrison and Patrick Bamford both scored. Leeds' inconsistency led them to victory. They're now 10th in the league. This whole Leeds team looked very strong in this match. Melier had 3 saves. Leeds only have 3 home wins at home. 3 home wins. They only had 3.
They only had 3. Now they have 4.
They have 4. Yes.
They've had a bad run of home form, and now they've kind of hopefully rebounded that and can make a further run in the table because they've been really good away.
Definitely.
At home, they've struggled. Palace came from 2 wins in a row, and now they lose.
New signing John-Philipp Mateta from Mainz in the Bundesliga. Hasn't had the best of starts for Palace. The Crystal Palace defense did look really opened. And this is a crazy stat. Palace have lost 17 of their last 19 games without Wilfried Zaha. That should say a lot.
It shows his impact. Wilfried Zaha is such a dynamic player. He sees his vision on the field is so good. He can really hit the ball from anywhere.
He's definitely a confidence booster, not to himself, but to the whole team. Like, we've known for the past few years now that Wilfried Zaha has been Palace's best player. And he's no doubt.
He's a world-class striker. He does not get enough credit, even though he plays on Palace.
And we've seen it's been like years now that like Zaha's he's linked the move with Arsenal, with other big teams from the Prem, and it's like, is this man gonna go from Palace? Because he is a man with full potential. He knows how to perform skills. He knows his way around a football, and I think,
and he knows the pace of the Premier League perfectly.
Yeah, and people are just like, when is this guy gonna leave Palace? He needs a better club. Palace look like they're gonna get relegated all the time. It's like, where's this Wilfried Zaha gonna go? Like, is he gonna stay at Palace forever? Because people won't like that. He's like staying at a club for a long time. It does show loyalty, but it's like, nah.
That's the Premier League slate. When we're gonna take a short break, and when we're back, we're gonna be talking about Europe and the U.S. men's national team in review. Thank you, and we'll be right back.
And we are back on the soccer show on SleepyHollowRadio.com. I'm Kevin Aguirre, joined by Aidan Baller, and we will be discussing the fixtures around Europe. So we're going to start it off with La Liga, where Real Madrid made an incredible comeback thanks to Rafael Varane, who scored 2 goals in their win against newly promoted Huesca. Alejandro Gomez scored his first goal with Sevilla, a stunning goal in their win against Getafe. Barcelona defeated Real Betis 3-2, with Trincao scoring his first goal for the club. Messi also came on and scored only after 3 minutes. Atletico Madrid dropped points in their draw against Celta Vigo. The gap between them and Barca is now only 8 points. Let's not forget Suarez was signed for free, and he has 17 games, 16 goals, which is really impressive.
And I think looking at this table, you can kind of just see how, as Atletico Madrid has pulled away, the importance of every single fixture, starting with Real Madrid. They needed to win that game. They've been kind of on and off at the start of 2021. Barcelona has been a little shaky, but more towards finding their form. And if you're going to catch Atletico Madrid, you have to be perfect from now on until the end of the season. And same with Atletico Madrid. They need to keep doing what they've been doing. Suarez has been playing great all year.
Yeah, with these crazy fixtures and like these results, like the La Liga table for sure is getting very, very interesting. We're going to move on to the Bundesliga. Borussia Dortmund dropped points against Freiburg in their 2-1 loss. It's a big disappointment as they are now 6th in the table. Not where you want to be for a team this big.
It's disappointing for Dortmund. They've been kind of like Germany's number 2 team, always below Bayern, but good, really good. And now ever since they sacked Lucien Favre, and with their interim manager, they can't find any rhythm. It's frustrating to see all these great players like Erling Haaland, Jadon Sancho, Gio Reyna. They're all just struggling and just continuing to lose, and they could be missing Champions League action next year for the first time in a long time.
Yeah, the hottest team in the Bundesliga right now, Eintracht Frankfurt, have been unbeaten through 9 Bundesliga matches. Andre Silva is a goal-scoring machine with 5 goals in his last 3 games and 8 in 2021. They currently sit in 4th, a good place to be, like, to qualify for the Champions League.
And Eintracht Frankfurt, they're kind of just filling in. They're playing extremely well. Andre Silva's been playing brilliant. One of probably the best strikers right now in all of Europe.
Yeah.
Maybe he could get a transfer, possibly, rumored.
Yeah, Wolfsburg also on fire as they have not conceded a goal in their last 5 games. A great team play led by Weghorst, and now they sit in 3rd in the Bundesliga table. And yeah, we could possibly see them in the Champions League as well.
It's kind of crazy to see, like, we're so used to like Bayern, Dortmund, Leipzig, Bayer Leverkusen, and now all these new teams are making way. It's kind of just like, I feel like for every league, 2021's allowed for new teams to make long strides and get to places where they've never been.
Yep, and Schalke, unfortunately, one of those teams who used to be in the top, are now in the bottom. This time they failed to win again against RB Leipzig 3-0. It's looking more and more like a secured relegation
and
for them.
And it's disappointing for Schalke. I mean, everyone's rooting for them, and then they go ahead and they get rid of Oman Kabak and send him to Liverpool.
And they're signing back players who previously played for them before, but we're not seeing like a big like effect from them. Like nothing's new for this.
They need
Schalke
Matthew
team.
Hoppe to carry them.
Yeah.
Carry them to victory, because right now there's no hero. And Schalke last year they almost qualified for the Champions League, and now they're sitting 20th in the Bundesliga table.
The table's completely turned around.
Yeah.
And Bundesliga champions Bayern Munich, who've won the Champions League last year. They played in the Club World Cup, and they actually won this year's Club World Cup by defeating Mexican side Tigres 1-0, who won the CONCACAF Champions League this year as well. And we're gonna skip over to the Serie A.
I just want to comment about Bayern Munich's success. They've won all six major trophies.
Very impressive.
Are in their possession. It's DFB Pokal, Bundesliga, Champions League. What's Champions League versus Europa League? What's that called?
That is the Super Cup.
Super Cup, Club World Cup, and what's the last one?
The last one.
I'm missing one in Germany. There's another cup.
There's
in Germany.
another cup. Yeah.
But extremely impressive by them. It's extremely difficult to do and stay composed. Obviously, they're not the same team compared to last year.
Yeah.
They're not this perfect team that only lost once or twice in 2020, but they're making their way back. They're still a great team and definitely a Champions League contender as Champions League comes up.
Definitely. And now we're going to the Serie A, where Juventus defeated Roma 2-0. Ronaldo scored, and Ibanez from Roma made an own goal to keep Juventus title hopes alive.
Mikey Lopez's hero, Ronaldo, scores. He's 36 years old now. He still scores goals.
He's still in there. Yep. AC Milan's hero Zlatan Ibrahimovic, 2 goals in a 4-goal win over Crotone. It's his 500th club goal, a very remarkable milestone for him. Milan understands they cannot afford to slip up now, because Juventus will make them learn their lesson. Juventus are they started poor, and now they're getting their way back to the top.
And it's kind of interesting, if you kind of put them in a parallel to Chelsea. Obviously, Chelsea brought on Frank Lampard as their manager, went well for a season, and then kind of fell out. But Juventus is first, or you're done. If you're not first, you're last. And if they don't win the title, does Pirlo maybe get sacked?
Who knows what could happen with Andrea Pirlo?
I got one other question about Zlatan for you. Do you put Zlatan Ibrahimovic scores his 500th club goal, and I think there's only 2 other players who are over 500 goals right now currently. Where do you put Zlatan? Do you put Zlatan in the top 10 all strikers of all time?
I think definitely. We've seen he's been a powerhouse tank throughout his whole career. It's not only his height, it's his strength, it's his power to kick a ball. It's we've seen, although we've seen him at so many clubs, he certainly doesn't have the loyalty compared to other players like Messi or Francesco Totti from Roma. I think though, the strength and the integrity that Zlatan brings, we've seen him do it in the Netherlands, we've seen him do it in Italy, we've seen him do it in the MLS, even
the Premier League.
In the Premier League, exactly. It's so crazy, and to see him score his 500th career goal at this age,
39,
that is ridiculous. I mean, normally when you come to an age like that, you're not going to be performing as good as you were back when you were in your mid-20s. So that is, I think, pretty impressive.
He's still scoring, and he's in the top 3 of scoring in the Serie A right now, and he's 39 years old, and Ronaldo is 36,
he definitely needs the recognition.
That is crazy. They just keep doing it. We don't know when they're gonna stop. Moving on to League One.
PSG defeated rivals Olympique de Marseille 2-0. Lille have defeated Nantes 2-0, with both goals coming from Canadian international Jonathan David, and now they've won 6 straight games. Really impressive.
Maybe we need to do a Canadian national team in review. Alphonso Davies and Jonathan David are making a major impact in Europe.
Absolutely.
It's cool to see. Maybe they could be a threat to the U.S. when it comes to the Gold Cup.
All right. We're going to talk about the MLS now. The season's set to begin in April 3rd after MLS players amended the CBA, which is the Collective Bargaining Agreement. And training camps will be set to start in February 22nd. So great news for American fans out there.
That's really exciting for them. And it's great to see that, the MLS, they've got their plan. Owners understand that this is not going to be a regular season, but they're ready to go. And sorry, we made an error. Season starts April 17th.
April 17th, you heard it here.
It's exciting to see how players are finally getting back in training. They ratified the CBA, so there's going to be no lockout. That was possibly rumored, so exciting, and we can't wait to start talking about them once that season starts.
Yeah, good news. Speaking of the MLS and USA, we are going to go now to the U.S. men's national team in review, where we have, first off, Chris Richards, who made his debut for Hoffenheim against Frankfurt. Timothy Weah, someone we haven't heard in a while, who scored a goal against Lille against Bordeaux, and then sets up the second goal in that 2-0 win over Nantes. An American on top for the French league. That's
an
amazing.
American wins the title with Lille. That'd be exciting. They just have to keep pushing and not let PSG. They can't slip any points at this point.
Yeah, former Newcastle player Andrea Yedlin made his debut for Galatasaray over in Turkey, and the U.S. men's national team will face Northern Ireland on March 28th at Windsor Park in Belfast, Northern Ireland. So
and it'll be cool to see all like the European stars on display.
Absolutely.
Pulisic's finally healthy again. He's playing extremely well. McKennie's winning trophies in Italy.
We're gonna see that chemistry build up, and we're gonna see
that chemistry and a little preview for the summer.
Yeah, and Brandon Aronson scores his first goal for Red Bull Salzburg, which was the game winner. So like we know he came from Philadelphia Union, and that's what a way to start for
it's awesome
your European
for him.
journey.
And now you kind of look at like there's so many players. Like we didn't talk about everyone. This is just kind of the highlights of who did well this week. But that training camp is going to be extremely competitive.
Absolutely.
And the manager of the U.S. national team, he's going to have a lot of decisions to make because there are so many young, talented players, not only in Europe, but also in the MLS.
There's quite a lot. And that's why, like, it's one of the main reasons why they had, like, an MLS-based squad and a European-based squad. So, like, to see them, like, they've got to work it out. It's a big roster, we understand, but we just have to, like, do the best for this nation, you know, especially for events coming up like the Gold Cup, the World Cup 2022. It's going to be big. The qualifiers, I should say. And yeah, we'll see what the staff over at the U.S. men's national team.
It's the most depth the U.S. men's national team have ever had, though. I think we can both agree on that.
Yeah, for sure.
So we can't wait for that. That's all for this week.
Thank you guys for joining. Make sure to tune in after every other episode. So this is Kevin Aguirre and Aidan Baller, and this has been The Soccer Show.
We'll see you next week.
He's a genius, can do special things with the football.
Ball still in there. Pulisic! Hat-trick!
This one drops in. And forget about it.
Golazo! Golazo!